Maverick Vinales.
Yeah.
What is the problem there, do we think? Is it just a rider who has to have everything completely 100% in his favour? Or is there something going on in that team that we can't work out, we can't fathom? What's going on?
I mean, it's $1 million question, isn't it? And I'm sure Yamaha have sat him down with his manager and asked him that question probably for the last 3 seasons, really. I mean, he was the fastest at the test. Did you see that? Did you see that? That made me laugh.
Yeah.
Gav texted me and he went, I'll give you one guess who was the fastest at the test in Barcelona. I'm going to go with Mav. And he's like, yeah, right, first time. I don't know. He's a little bit of a flawed genius, isn't he? Because you can't, his talent, his outright speed's incredible. So his race pace, everything about him's incredible until it comes to the race. And if he doesn't get a good start, which he doesn't very often, he sort of struggles to pass people. And it's an important part of our job, isn't it? I almost feel like he has his bike set to do a lap time. And then when he tries to outbrake someone, you can sort of see his front forks bottom out and then think, oh, actually, I can't get this bike stopped now. And he just can't pass people. So, and he seems to be getting worse, not better.
But you can teach that, can't you? Even if it's, even if he needs a proper rider coach, that's something that must be something that can be addressed.
Yeah, but you'd like to think that Yamaha and himself have looked into it. Each year, if you listen to his pre-season sort of interviews, he always sounds a bit more positive, a little bit more really ready. And if that is, I'm super more relaxed this year, I'm really going to enjoy it more this year, or whatever spin is put on it, it's like he keeps trying to, and unfortunately, it's the same results, isn't it? I feel sorry for the guy because I like Maverick. He's a really nice lad, actually. But it's just not happening, is it?
But is he kind of putting himself out of the market for another ride? Because everybody can see that he's fast over a lap and fast in testing, but who would kind of take him on as somebody who doesn't win races anymore?
Well, you wouldn't want to, would you? Really? Like, if you're Yamaha, you don't want to continue with him, do you? Really? Because he's in his 5th season. So Yamaha won't want to keep him in the factory team, and I can't see the Petronas team wanting him. I just can't see where he'd fit in anyway. And it's a tricky one. Maybe Suzuki would look at him, but then they usually go for the younger riders. So the problem is how quickly, he's been there, but how quickly it changes the paddock.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Mavericks is not a veteran by a long stretch of the imagination, but there's you look over your shoulder and there's 20 kids behind you just going, I'll die for this.
Yeah. And most literally, of them Spanish.
So, yeah, exactly. So he's not in a strong position, is he?
Not really. Spaniards in strong positions. Marc Marquez, is it all over for him at the top level, or is this unfathomable slump by HRC, not in just MotoGP, but it would appear in World Superbikes as well, the biggest part of his problem? Do you think?
Well, I think it's the biggest part of his problem is even in the years when he was fit and winning, he made the difference. The Honda wasn't the best MotoGP bike to be on. It was just slightly down from, let's say, you probably say the Suzuki, the Yamaha, and the Ducati, just slightly down. But he made the difference. Since his injury, that gap's got bigger, I'd say. The bike's probably got a little bit worse, or let's say the other manufacturers have stepped it up because they've had to, because they're trying to beat Marquez. Anyway, obviously in that, so the gap's got bigger. Now we've got Marquez who's come back, but he ain't 100% fit. And that gap's now not possible to breach, no matter how hard he rides. And he's trying into it, and that's why he keeps crashing, obviously. So then, obviously, Mark needs to get fitter, and Honda need to improve that motorcycle. The problem is and we've seen this over the years, improving motorcycles, if you don't have concessions, takes a long time. It's not like, hello, next year the bike's brilliant. It can take 3 years, can't it, to bridge a gap. So yeah, And then you've got the question, is Mark ever going to be the same rider again? Is he going to be as phenomenal as he was in 2019? And my gut feeling was always that it was going to be, yes, he will be. But now I'm thinking he was so phenomenal. He was so special that if 2019 was 100%, I don't think he'll ever reach that again.
Do you think that's because he has now proven to himself that he's not invincible?
Yeah, that'll play a part in it. That will definitely. And even before the big injury of the arm, he had injuries every year, didn't he? With all the surgeries, the shoulder surgeries on consecutive years. Obviously, had the eye issue when he was riding Moto 2, which was a major one. I think he's now getting to that point. Don't get me wrong, I still think he's a winning machine, but I can't see him being able to take as much risk all the time throughout the weekend, to crash 20 odd times a year. I just can't see it. I hope I'm wrong, because I'm a massive fan. I'm his number one fan. I'm his number one fan because I've never seen anything like it. Up to this point, I'm like, this man's just going to win. Well, we all said it, didn't we? There's only one person who can beat him, and that was always going to be himself, and that's what happened in the end.
I mean, do you think this Honda's kind of all this messing around with three frames during winter testing and having three different people riding three different things, surely that kind of helps? And I don't understand why they've done it.
No, I totally agree with you. With the experience they've got, that approach has never worked, has it? You can go back to Jerry Burgess, sort of keep it simple. It is the key to improving a motorcycle. You look at what Suzuki have done over the years, essentially keeping the same motorcycle and tweaking it and slowly improving the package, where Honda are throwing different things at it from all angles. It seems strange. It's quite painful to watch, isn't it, really?
It seems a little bit desperate.
Like Nakagami's the lead Honda rider, and he's 11th in the championship. I mean, it's bizarre, isn't it?
And I don't quite understand what they're doing in World Superbikes either. It's a strange.
What's the gossip there? Because I don't even know what the story is. All I saw was interviews, obviously, with yourself, with Leon, saying we'll be fighting for podiums this all year.
I'm not sure if there's. It looks like there's a real difficulty with electronics that they're not.
Yeah.
Well, of course, HRC never admit to anything. It's everything is an electrical problem. But yeah. I just get the feeling that there's something going on with their electronics package that they can fix it, but I'm not sure how they're going about it or what, because it seems to be the same difficulties every time. And
yeah,
what and they were kind of fine in testing, but in race situations on hot tracks, it's not going well. And of course, Leon won't say anything, and Alvaro won't say anything because you're not.
No. Whenever you see Bautista on track, it just looks fucking horrendous. It looks like it's got a hinge in the middle, the things like that, and then it's wheeling in weird places. I hate it when a bike wheelies in weird places. You're just like, oh, that looks like a handful to ride.
Yeah, it's a strange situation for HRC to be in both championships.
Yeah,
very, very, very weird.
It makes you wonder if they'll pull back in the World Superbike then, because of it makes you wonder. I don't know how long they've committed to throwing Superbikes.
Well, I don't. There's a timestamp on it, but I mean, I just wonder if they were trying to get one thing right, and that's led them to, or trying to get the electronics right in World Superbikes, which might help them even with the spec ECU in MotoGP. I'm not sure which way around they were trying to do it, but yeah. Puig is running both teams pretty much. I'm just wondering if there's either too many managers or not enough. One of the two.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a strange thing. Valentino, what should he stop? Because I mean, I've been a big fan of Valentino for as long as he's been around. It's getting painful now. He can't be enjoying himself, can he?
No, he can't be enjoying himself, and I don't think any Rossi fans enjoying watching him. And actually, I don't think any Rossi fans enjoying watching his team celebrate when he gets through to qualifying 2, like he's won the race. It's a bit strange, really. Even as a BT commentator, I catch myself going, "Oh, actually, hey, Rossi's 10th in this session." Like, actually, let me just say that again. Rossi's 10th in this session. That's nothing. It's Valentino Rossi, but that's good if he's lying 10th in this session, So, yeah, it's 1 year too many. I think last year was disappointing, but there were a few glimmers of hope. He almost won in Barcelona, and you can't blame him. He more than any other rider in the history of our sport has got the right to do that extra year.
Yeah.
But I think we all feel like, but please make this one your last one, man. Don't. I'm dreading him, and I don't want this to sound. I've always got to be careful when you say anything about Valentino, as you know better than anyone. I'm dreading him getting one good result and then just having to another year. So then you'd be like, oh mate, don't. It's like,
yeah. I mean, I've got, my little boy, my eldest son's got Valentino Rossi t-shirts, everything. He met him at Day of Champions. It's the guy's everywhere. But I mean, it's got to come to a stop at some point. I was listening to Andy Murray on Radio 5 the other day. He's had all these injuries, but he said, I'm still playing tennis because I love playing tennis. There's no disrespect to Murray, but he hasn't been at the level that Valentino Rossi's been in his sport. But, this Rossi can't be turning up to Saxon Ring, this ring going, I'm just going to do this because it's great.
Yeah.
Because it can't be, can it?
No, that's the weird bit. Because I do know, it's like, it's not great. What's great is the result. That's what's great. The lap time, wow, look at that. Or yes, first or podium or whatever your goal is, that's great. But all the other bits, hard work. You know better than anyone, having been involved in this sport for so long. There's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. And, you ride for a team and you're not getting the results. You come in, everyone thinks you're shit. Everyone's looking at you going, what? Like, what? What's up? Like, you're on the factory ammo. We're on pole. They're on, the same bikes on pole position or the same bikes as won the race. So he definitely can't be enjoying it. No.
Well, I've always wondered, just because we've got football on at the minute, in motorbike racing, when something goes wrong, it's almost always the rider that gets it in the neck and never the manager.
Yeah.
And I've always found that a little bit strange. Because, you do get some useless managers. You get some brilliant ones, as you've experienced, and you get some not so good ones. But it never seems to be the manager who's ever called into question.
No, I've never really thought about that. I quite like that.
And in football, it's always the manager. It's never the player. It's always the manager that gets it in the neck.
Yeah, that's true. That's it. I'm gonna have we need to have a call for let's have these bastard managers take some responsibility.
I know a few.
I like that.
We'll have one last one, a bit of fun, and you'll have to claim a bit of interest in this. We all want the Lowe's twins to race each other. Everybody's wanted it since 1980, however old they are. Where should they do it? Should it be in Moto2? God. Should it be in World Superbikes? Do they have to be on the same piece of equipment?
Oh my God. Sam and Alex as well as I do. Wherever they race against each other, I do not want to be present. I want there to be a lot of medical staff there, and I want it to be the safest track in the UK or wherever, because I don't want any part in this. I don't want any part.
You've got to have a part in it because you're in charge of one of them.
I know, bloody hell. It'd be carnage. It'd be carnage. I mean, they are, as you know, they adore each other. They are the closest. You can't believe how close they are, and it's genuine. And you've spent enough time with them, as obviously as I have, to know that it's all genuine. But bloody hell, they'd want to beat each other bad, wouldn't they?
It would be over 20 laps for somewhere. It's going to be good, isn't it?
It'd be good. It'd be good because it'd be so hard to call. Because Alex normally beats Sam at most things they do.
Yeah.
But the one thing that's the important thing, and that's bike racing. Sam's incredibly fast. He really is, isn't he? And I'm not saying and I can't say, I'm not saying he's faster than Alex, because it'd be hard to call. It'd be really hard to call. Be interesting one though. I tell you what, you could sell some tickets for it.
Yeah, and I think we might also end up writing a new excuse book, because can you imagine the excuses that will come out from one of them?
Bloody hell, I've got a good excuse book that they could borrow. I tell you, mine's deep. Mine's a bestseller. I tell you, it's got some pages in it.
Right, thanks very much, Neil. That's been brilliant.